to Walpole United WFC. Hello and welcome to Walpole United with me, John Foster, MUFC, match reaction show, Manchester United 2, Reading 0. And to be honest, guys, I don't think that was the intro that we wanted. I think we deserve a better intro for that. So, Ben, I'm expecting you to jump in on this one. I'm going to start it off.
I only woke up, pal.
I'm going to start it off, Ben.
Go on!
I'm going to start it off. Kirsty
Hansen of MUFC.
She's skillful.
Kirsty Hansen of MUFC. Everybody's not turned off.
No, more people tuned in.
Awesome performance from Kirsty, and we'll get into it all. Match reaction show. We're going to talk a bit about Sky. We're going to talk about Owen's first goal for the club. We're going to talk about the match day atmosphere. We've got so much to discuss, and we are absolutely buzzing from what we saw, and we haven't even mentioned Mark Skinner yet as well. So thank you to everybody in the comments. Please stick a thumbs up on the video, and let's get cracking. So, Natalie, first time at LSV. Unfortunately, you wasn't there, but you saw it on Sky. What was your whole thoughts on match day?
Yeah, just happy that fans are back. Obviously, I'm disappointed I couldn't be there, and hearing all the stories, and you know, it is what it is, though, isn't it? You know, I couldn't be there, but it was good. Sky was all right. I thought, I know we're going to go on to other games, but I thought BBC did a good coverage as well. But I like Sky. I think they'll slowly build into it. I like to see a bit more. You know, I think with the men's team, when you watch Sky, it's boom, direct to the point. It's, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, you're just there because thinking. I love Shivi's commentary. Obviously, Shivi gave me a little shout. I was not expecting that. I did message her just saying, you know, I'm not going to be there, miss you and all that. But I didn't think she'd say anything like what she did. I just thought she did like the comment, but I didn't think she'd say anything. And Sky, she gave me a little rap, a little like the ringleader, the fucking loud one, all that kind of stuff. It was funny. It was nice. And then it was good. You know, I didn't watch it because I was so excited. I think we'd won and everything, and I was free, so I just went out and had a good time after that. But you know, I was just sitting back at the interviews actually with, you know, Hannah Blundell and Hansen at the side of the pitch. You could hear even Manny, I don't know if she did it, but they were like leaning into the microphone because you couldn't hear. Yeah. You know, and that for me, that's what it's all about. You know, we saw it at Old Trafford when Bruno and Pogba did an interview. Or was it Greenwood? I can't even remember who it was. But, you know, we saw it. This thing, and that's what it's about. It's about like the passion of the fans and the, you know, making it the loudest it can be, because that's what attracts people. You know, having people in the stadium singing, and then people watching on telly will go, "Oh, that looks all right. I'll get involved in that. Oh, I love to get involved in that." You know, yeah, the product's there and out there, and people are watching it. It's great, and they might think this and that of the players, or this might like this player, but the fact that the atmosphere is out there, that's what's going to get more people to come over. Because I think the people who are going to watch on telly will be watching on telly anyway, you know what I mean? Whereas I think if you have that interest, you want to then join in the atmosphere, because that's why we go to football games, for the atmosphere.
Well, and we've spoke obviously before going into the game and after the game about how good the atmosphere was. Got Connor's comment on screen there. Connor commented on the atmosphere as well, and I think everyone was loving it, and every reason to be. But what we all thought actually, you know, on the atmosphere, but also before and after the game as well.
Mate, it was brilliant, and you know, it's a good job this is a Monday night show, because I swear to God, we'd have to have done sign language if it was Saturday morning. You know, I'm not even joking. I mean, just linked to what Nat was saying. You know, I watched back some of the Sky coverage on Saturday, and at one point we were definitely as loud as the commentators, which I'm sure Sky are going to love, but I want to continue giving that headache all through the season. It's almost like a challenge. But no, it was brilliant. I mean, you know, there was a lot of emotion there personally for me, you know, being locked out of the grounds for so long. It's my first game back. I was there ridiculously early compared to what you would normally expect. I mean, we met you about 5:30, and it just built from there. And the being in the ground, getting Mark sort of saying to us before the game, you're going to be loud tonight, and I think he knew what he was doing, sort of orchestrating that a little bit as well. And just the game itself, and after the game, I didn't want it to end, to be honest. I'll be honest, even driving to work this morning, I was just daydreaming about Friday night. I'd like to just stay in that zone. It was absolutely fantastic.
It was a great atmosphere, and Karen, who's in the comments, allowed us to use her video, and we put it on the All for United WFC Twitter account yesterday or today. I can't remember when it was, and it was great. So many people liked the video as well, but you could actually hear the passion in our voices even after the game had ended. 10 minutes after the game was ended, we was all still there singing. We saw Ona, we saw Hannah Blundell having her interview with Kirsty Hansen, we saw Skinner, Mannion's bucket hats. We just didn't stop singing, and we just didn't want to leave, did we? And obviously, unfortunately, we had to towards the end. But we did ourselves proud there singing, and that was obviously without Natalie as well. So it's going to be even louder in the next home game. And
oh yeah.
Shout out to Anthony, who's on the show. If anybody heard a solo male voice in the crowd, it would have been our Anthony. So
just hopefully he can learn the words next time, though.
Yeah, he wasn't quite sure on the words, but he gave it his best shot. He did a cracking job.
He's a good lad, though. I love the guy.
He got us going. He really did. Even when there was a quiet moment, he started us off again. So, but that's what we missed, and that's what we go for. It was all laughing with him, and he started it all off, and it was great to see, wasn't it? Ben, great to be back at LSV watching the women's team with all your mates.
Absolutely, man. But one thing I will say I was disappointed was Natalie touched upon it at the start. There was when Bruno and Mason were at the start of the Stretford end. You couldn't hear them. You couldn't hear their interview. And I wanted to sing when Mark and when Kirsty and all that were having their interviews. Everyone was like, "Oh no, got to be quiet, got to be quiet." That disappointed me. I think Mark Skinner would have loved it if he got drowned out. He was singing. Do you know what I mean? That just disappointed me a little bit. I felt a bit let down by people. It was like, "Oh, she can't sing now." Of course she can sing now. Happened at the Stretford end with Bruno. The Sky's fault for having him in front of the loud vocal fans. You know what I mean? That's another advertisement. That's another way you get people.
Don't worry, we'll get it when.
I know. I said if that was there, you wouldn't have dared stop her singing when Mark Skinner was talking.
Oh God, yeah, you would have been down. You'd have been down already next to him.
And if they've got them in the same place for Leicester, because apparently it's in front of dugouts, so that's sort of same place. We'll be singing then as well. So you never stop singing. You never stop singing. You never stop singing until you see them walk out the ground. Exactly.
But it was good to be back, though. It was really good to be back. Really good atmosphere. My voice was already naffed up before anyway. All the United games that I've done away from home and at home for the men's team, my voice was croaky on that day as it was. Let me down. But, I don't stop me trying to sing, trying to get stuff going. But it was good to be back. Really good to be back. It's good seeing old faces again. Faces you've not seen for a long time. Faces. Yes, some of us went to Scotland, but there's a lot of faces you've not seen for a very long time in person. Good to meet new people as well. It's the first time that I met Stu. Obviously, I met Connor before. It was the first time I met Stu. Good to see him. Good to see new faces there as well, getting involved. It was just a really decent atmosphere, mate. Really decent. I don't know, because obviously I didn't watch it on telly. I've not been able to watch it back or anything. So I don't know how it relates on people's TV screens for those that watch it on TV. But trust me, when you were there, it was loud. And I liked it, I loved it. I just think we was all excited, you know what I mean? Jack did me proud with Bring On United about half an hour before the teams come out. 5 minutes. Well. You know what I mean? I said, Jack, you're going to have to keep that going for half an hour now, lad. But he was just overexcited, and it was good, It's good to see. Sorry, John, what was you saying?
Sorry for butting in. I was just basically going to say that everyone had their own moment. I mean, there's people in the comments, I won't mention the name, but they were singing by themselves at some point just to get the crowd going. And even the quieter ones, who are usually quieter, who would wait for someone to start singing, they started chanting, and then everybody joined in.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone just put a bit in the crowd on Friday. And yeah, I think it was possibly that 18 months just all coming out all in one go, and also just the excitement and cheering new players. And Just a bit of a word on Skinner as well. I mean, on that video that I was talking about earlier, if you have a look at Skinner's face when he was clapping the crowd, looking up at us.
He loved it. He loved it, that lad.
Yeah.
The one criticism we're going to have of Skinner is, though, he looks like he's dressed for a Gap advert and not a manager. We need to mantle the lad up a little bit, get him in shorts.
Yeah, but you can't have him with like a sheepskin coat or whatever you're looking for, like a John Moxon kind of.
What we need him in?
We've had two stylish bosses, haven't we?
We need the jacket with the MS, you know, stuff like that.
To be fair, I'm more of a suiting manager. I'm more of a suiting manager like Salas Ferguson.
No, I like the jacket.
But no, I love Mark, mate. But I just find it funny how we've had two stylish, really managers that like to look stylish on the side, you know. But he's a good lad, Mark. I think he gets it. He gets us fans. He wants us there. He wants to be part of it. I just wanted to say, Ben, about his interviews. He's so funny. At first, it sort of wound me up a bit. You know, Beauty and the Beast and this and that and Red Wave. I thought, what are you on about? But I love the Red Wave now. I'm all about the Red Wave. I can't wait to be part of the Red Wave again.
Nat, I'm going to say this. So, Matt's not.
He kept saying wonderful. And it was a bit
wonderful. Yeah, wonderful. The other one. So
that's his version. Fantastic. Colin says fantastic all the time. Matt's wonderful.
I'll say brilliant. I think I'll say brilliant a lot. So I think you've all got our words. But what I was going to say was, Matt, he's got Tooney, so he's got history with Tooney. He knows Tooney from the past. Ben, we know your fondness of Kirsty Hansen. Nat, I know that from in the past to Jess and LJ. Now, is he probably Honor your one of your favourites? Would it be? I'm going to go on record now. It's took me 4 seasons to get someone, but I dare to find someone out there who likes Mark Skinner more than I do. I'll get on the show. We'll have a debate.
There you go. You can have him.
You can have him. Yeah.
We won't have a sing off. We'll have a Skinner off. But
at least you two understand each other. What you're saying?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
But what I'm going to say, I'm not going to say like, oh, he's the best manager. He's going to take us to the titles. He's not, I'm not saying all this. And everybody who's watched the show knows how much I love Casey. And I didn't want Casey to leave. But Skinner just excites me. Like you say, the interviews, the energy, just everything about him. I just really enjoy watching him. Hopefully the results come as well. But
the thing about Skinner is, and let's look at modern managers, right? They all talk about fine margins. That's how you get like silly things in the men's game with like sleep rooms and £1 million, this, that, and the other. But he's using a fine margin with us. I believe he loves what we do, and he does value the fans. But he also knows from a tactical perspective how useful it is. That would explain why he said, "Are you going to be loud tonight?" You know, how many times last season did we go, you know, Casey, give us a wave? Obviously, she didn't, but that would be fine. Who would as a manager? He did during the game, I think, at least on 2 occasions. You know, and afterwards as well, you know, what he said. And with his comments about, you know, apart from dealing with the players day to day, the fans is a second pleasure. You know, he knows what he's doing. He's building us up as another tool to help him win the football game. And that shows another level of management. And if you think about it, it's free. It makes us happy. He's happy because it helps the team. It doesn't involve any sleep psychologist or any crap like that. It's just help. It's just a really good way. And I think it definitely helped on Friday night.
I think, to be fair though, he loved it though. You know, when he was saying, when he was saying in his pre-match, when he was saying after his match press conference, there, when he was like, I could hear him singing, and I try my best not to join in because I'm trying to concentrate on the game and everything. But he loved it. Every time he sang any song about Mark Skinner, there's like 3 or 4 now going around. He's there checking behind his shoulder, like with a big smile on his face. Yeah. Even if he's not acknowledging you, he's trying to stay in that zone and watching the game. He knows. He's a quick check over his shoulder, see a quick smile on his face. He loves it, that guy.
And that's the thing, he turns around and he acknowledges us within like 2 seconds or 3 seconds. It's not like, oh, it's a minute later, I better do something. He does it because he wants to. And he can guarantee he never got that at Birmingham or Orlando. So.
Well, I remember there was games where we were like, oh, Casey, this and that. Maybe she was over on the other side or whatever. And she heard us, but she just, bam. And then we start going, boo, and all this. And then they suddenly, oh, no, I do hear you.
Just a few shout outs in the comments. So Vix, lovely to see you for the first time. I know that you're always in the comments, so thank you very much for obviously coming over and saying hello. There's a few others as well. Bear with me. John Neville, brilliant to meet you, mate. Thank you for introducing yourself, and now I know who you are. I'll be able to come over and say hello more often. Mark, obviously, I've never met Mark in person before, but like the past couple of 3 weeks, we've met Mark ever since Rangers. So it's great to see that everybody who's in the comments who can come to games obviously have been, and of course Connor, who's come from the men's account, obviously showed a little bit of interest, now showing a lot of interest. So it's really great to see. So yeah, let's start talking about the match. This is a bit of a match reaction show. So as always, we'll start off with a bit of like the starting lineup. So Salva Bagley, that was a bit of a debate going into the game. But Ben, let's start off with yourself on that one in the goalkeeper situation. I think it's pretty much 50-50, wasn't it? I'm not surprised that Earp started, but I wouldn't have been surprised if Bagley started either.
To be fair, mate, I always knew the more experienced one would start your first game. Nothing against Bagley or anything, mate, but I just thought, I know there was a lot of talk on the bus on the way back from Scotland as Bagley now maybe got herself ahead of Mary Earps, but I just think I just thought Matt would go for the more experienced one, just to start the season off on the front foot. You know, I'm not saying that we wouldn't have got that with Bagley in goal, because I'm a big fan of Bagley. You know, I can see what she's bringing, and it's going to be an interesting competition. I've said this before, because I think the men's team, you've got Henderson versus De Gea. Obviously, Henderson, unfortunately, she's had coronavirus, has been struggling to get over it. But that's not going to go away. Henderson's going to come back fighting for that number one spot. And I think the same with Mary Earps now. She's got a proper big competition on her hands for that number one shirt to start that number one in that number one role. Then upon when you're a goalkeeper, there's only one position up for grabs, you know. Whereas every other position on the field, you can slot in somewhere else. There's always room to get some game time. But it's only going to improve Mary Earps though as well. So let's be fair, you know, she's got her up her game now. She's got up her standards. She's got to make sure her standards are very high throughout the whole season. You know, she can't let her guard down. Exactly the same when Henderson comes back for De Gea. You know, they're going to have to keep that level up really, really high now. But it didn't surprise me that you started off with a more experienced goalkeeper. We all knew going into the game how much Reading were a bit of a bogey side. I've been over the last few seasons. But having said that, I think I was really disappointed in Reading, really. I know a lot of people were saying it was a good game. Reading game was a bit of a good game, but this was at the same Reading side of a few years ago. I know they lost a few players since then. But they should have rightly had a goal as well. It was over the line. But, you know, We'll get onto that discussion, I'm sure, a little bit later on. But you know, I just feel like he went right. I think for the experience, you know, especially with no Millie Turner at the back, you're playing two relatively new centre halves as a partnership. You know, I think he probably went. I need something there, or someone there, should we say, that's been there for a little while that can maybe communicate. I'm going to have to put two new centre halves in there. You know, I've got no Millie Turner. I'm not sure if she was injured or not. I have no idea what happened to Millie in that respect. But I've got no Millie Turner there. I've only got Ona from last season, and I've got another new fullback as well. I probably need someone with that and a bit more of experience that knows that a little bit more of a know-how, that is an international experienced goalkeeper, just to, you know, hold the back line together. You know, make sure we're strong as a unit at the back there. So it didn't surprise me, mate. Have we had a couple more experienced players at the back that have been playing like Millie Turner over the last few seasons? Everything. Obviously, in Millie's case, it's day one. I think he maybe chose Bagley, but mate, I thought Mary did very, very well. And I think I agree with Connor there. Looked good from crosses, to be fair. And that's something we never really said about Mary in the past, because she has flapped a little bit and things have gone overhead. So it's good to see her catching and punching clear from corners and balls coming into her box. So I'm overall really impressed, to be fair. And John Hume saying back five bang on. They were bang on. I'm really impressed.
Mm-hmm. Andy, what are your thoughts? Obviously, I know that you think a lot of Mary anyway, but what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, well, I've said on other shows as well. You know, I think it was pretty damn close. I think it was almost a coin toss to that level. But well, saying that, when I saw it, Mary's performance on Friday, I felt she's kept Bagley at bay for a bit. And that was no turn on Bagley, but you know, it was a bit of an awkward one because it's funny how when you watch the game there compared to when you watch on TV, it is a bit different. I was a bit cagey, you know, the first 20 minutes or so. It was almost like we were still practicing social distancing. It was everyone was sort of we were shouting press, press, press. You know, but then and we were a bit nervous about getting cut out by Reading. When you look at it, they're actually nowhere near scoring really for most of the game. But certainly Mary, you know, I think definitely looked like she should have been there. And I think we've definitely had some upgrades in defence with Hannah Brundell obviously coming now. Even though she wasn't playing for us, she was playing for Chelsea obviously. And Honor, I mean, God, I could spend the whole show talking about Honor. And I'm gonna have a go at saying her surname, Baget. Is that better than Battle or whatever the heck I've been trying to do? Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. You know, she was all over the pitch. She looked like she was doing 1.5 speed and the rest of them were at 1 speed, you know, even irrespective of the goal. That was a beautiful thing and that I might have watched quite a few times since then, you know. But I had a concern about Reading because in the past they were very physical, especially when they go behind, and we saw a little bit of that on Friday night. For some reason the ref seemed to think because they were wearing yellow they couldn't have a yellow, which was a bit annoying because, you know, it was just a bit weird. But yeah, I think Bagley will probably be used if Mary slips up, and if not, definitely maybe for the first Conti game against Durham, which in itself they're not an easy team. They're another bogey team of ours, even though they're in the second tier. But I think I think I'm really happy we got through it without any injuries as well, as I say, because of the physical nature of Reading. I think there's a lot of people that had good games. To be honest, you know, you're in a good position where if you turn the question around and said, who had a bad game in the United shirt? I couldn't really answer that question. You know, obviously, you know, it was only 2-0, but it just didn't look like we were in any kind of danger. And the only time it did, that was in my head. so that's always a good sign, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think what everyone's sort of saying, top 5, I mean, back 5 looked amazing. I know John sort of said Maria, best game for us, 100% agree. Everyone knows what I think of Honor. World class. Spanish Queen. I saw Hanson and a few of the other girls calling her that. I'm sure probably people were saying it to her face as well. But, you know, I just seen I'm not M-K. I get where they're coming from about herbs. I think just something about Skinner. Maybe he's putting a bit more in them. Maybe they're feel a bit more free, feel a bit more happy. Or maybe it's because, you know, Bagley has come in and she realises, like, listen, I don't want to let this slip. You know, I don't know what it is. But, you know, Maria as well, you know, something a bit more fresh start, new chapters. And I think you've just got to look at it from now rather than like looking at what Mary did before. I think, yes, we know that there is like little bits, but I think she did great. Like you said, coming for crosses, distribution was good. And these are areas where we've said, oh, maybe it's not the best for Mary. In terms of sort of that comment and it said about Rambo, I don't think Rambo's deflated. I think Rambo's happy that she's playing. She's first team goalkeeper. I know that Spurs beat Birmingham. I wouldn't say the goal was her fault, but apparently she made 2 or 3 great saves. That's what I'm hearing from a couple of Birmingham fans who went to watch that game. So I think Rambo, you know, she's just 20 or 19, no, just 20, I think. You know, she's the future of the goalkeeping. She signed a new deal. I think it's, you know, I don't think she's worried. I think she's just happy that she'll be playing week in, week out. Whether then she goes out on loan again, I don't know. But I think she just needed this because it means that's something I've always talked about with Rambo. She went out on loan to Sheffield and she had to get called back because of the pandemic and everyone was locked down. Then she never really had any chances last year. So now it's, bang, you're a first year choice goalkeeper. You'll be getting peppered a lot at Birmingham. You know, she kept it down 1-0. She'll be happy with, I think, her performance. Obviously, they're playing at home next week. I don't know who they're playing against, but, you know, they'll be looking at potentially maybe a Reading and getting points, you know. So I won't worry about anything in terms of players. And I know a lot of people are upset over Millie not starting, but You know, that's what you want. You want that competition for places. We've always screamed out 2 players for each position, 2 players each position. The best player is going to play. So that's it, you know. And it's happened to a favourite, Millie Turner. Of course, we want to see Millie Turner playing all the way. But if Maria had her best game, why are you going to drop anyone?
100%. 100%.
That's it.
And I think we're all very knowledgeable about, obviously, with United. We follow United a lot, but we shouldn't be able to get 10 out of 11 players right, like some people were getting last season. Because if we can do that, the opposition can do that, and that might come up with some answers to what happened last season. And it's that element of professionalism. You know, he's brought some stuff over from America. It's a football match. It's a football game. It's a football team. You know, nobody has the right automatically to play for United, and that's the way it should be. You know, everybody's got a fight and should want that, and that's going to make it sweeter. Say she does come in Leicester or the next game against Chelsea, she would have come in because she's gone on the training pitch and said to Mark, "Hey, you keeping me out?" And that's when it means something. If she thinks she's just got back on because she's an OG 21 or whatever, you know, then it's exactly the same crap that these poor women's players used to get before we arrived, where they nearly had a crap game. They come over to the sideline, the fans are going, "You did so well. I'm so pleased." And they want to punch it, you know, and that's not what they deserve, you know. So I'm just jumping on what Nat was saying then, because I was just jumping out on me. But the other thing I was going to mention, I noticed obviously what Vicky said, if you can pop it on, about the elbow. Gosh, I don't know if you heard me, Nat, but for about 5 minutes I wouldn't shut up about that elbow. I just lost it, to be honest. But it was so interesting linking to Sky, because how they set the agenda, and we might go on to that with the goal, because I watched it back on Sky on Saturday. I was expecting them to be going on and on about the elbow. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Clear elbow to the face, and they were like, "Oh, they didn't really have any malice in it." Oh yeah, and they just moved on. And then all the debate was going on about the goal line. Was it a goal? Wasn't it a goal? And you know, I think, I'm sorry, if you connect elbow to face, it's a red card. Now, you know, that's how you end up with silly rules, like, you know, in the men's game with the handballs. You know, until recently, the outfield player would almost have to do a goalkeeper save to get a handball put against him. With all this, he wasn't going towards that ball and all that kind of stuff. So they then went the other way, and it became silly. But I think, you know, at the very least, she should have got a yellow if she really did think it was accidental. But to have nothing, you know, I mean, the referee just bottled it. The linesman, who's even less, you know, less qualified than the referee in the women's game, definitely wasn't going to overturn it. Definitely wasn't going to be too sure. But I think personally that there definitely should have been a card, and, you know, if not red, then yellow.
Mm-hmm. There's so many good comments that I want to come on to, because there's a couple of good questions in there as well. But Ben, on your Saturday show, you had Stu on there, and we know how much he loves his centre backs and stuff. And this is just a great comment from Connor as well. Just talking about Maria again, I just want to get your opinion on this potential new combination. Do you think it was Skinner looking at the opposition, thinking, okay, maybe Maria's more suited to this game? Or do you think he's really trying something different here with Mannion's experience and Maria's experience? Is that potentially what he's going for? Because Maria did have a cracking game, and she deserves to be shouted out about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Maria had a cracking game, mate. Sorry, my voice is going again. Yeah, sorry, I'm back now. Yeah, she absolutely had a cracking game again. This is crazy, because my biggest question mark was Maria Forrest-Today, because I've been critical of her since she came in. I mean, since that City goal, which I never forgiven her for turning her back on the ball. But you can't do that as a centre half. You've got to press the ball. I don't care if it hits you in the face, hits you in the private areas. I don't care. You block that football from, you know, you don't turn your back on it and let them score a goal. But mate, she shut me up completely. Yeah, yesterday, well, not yesterday, but Friday night shut me completely up. She was fantastic. And maybe it's something Mark's probably said on the training field. Mark's probably looked at it and gone, that combination works better for me. You know, I can, you know, get spreading, you know. Probably seen our previous games when let's be a bit physical. We can see they get spreading in the air quite a lot as well. It's probably gone, I need something a bit more physical at the back there. I need some defenders that can defend. I need defenders that can bring the ball out from the back a little bit with ease and with comfortable with the ball at the feet and everything. And I just think He looks really good, mate. I don't know what he's said. I don't know what he's done, what he's seen. But that centre-half partnership, that the back five, let's be fair, like I said before, was absolutely spot on. They were communicating with each other. They were talking. They weren't scared to pass it around the back to each other. You know, sometimes there's always that hesitancy that we can't play around at the back a little bit. We panic on the ball, especially when we have either centre half has a ball at their feet and go, I don't know what to do. Am I going backwards? Am I going to go forwards? But it was nice to see some of the centre halves just bring the ball out a little bit and then getting our full backs on the go and everything. I would like to see us try and get the ball to Hannah Blundell a little bit quicker, though. She looks really good, and I mean really good going on that side. Yeah. We trust Ona. We trust Ona to get the ball first time. Look for Ona first. Let's trust that. Give that same trust to Hannah Blundell because she poses an equally dangerous threat going down the other side. Definitely. And she's really good on the ball. She really impressed me as well, Hannah Blundell. But of course, you've asked me about Maria Thorstottier. I hope I pronounced her name right. I'm not butchered it as usual. Really good, mate. Really composed, really confident. Looked like she belonged in a Manchester United shirt. Whereas I think maybe last season it took a little bit of time to settle in. Maybe she looked a little bit lost. Maybe a little bit of nerves were kicking in. You know, playing for Man United. I know she played for Chelsea. She's played Champions League football before. But as I've always said, though, playing for Manchester United brings a whole different weight of pressure on your shoulders. And some people go to that really quickly. And some people take a little bit of time to adjust and to adapt. And I think she's done really, 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 really well. Really impressed me, because when I saw her team sheet first, I thought, well, I'm not so sure about that. But I'm hoping she has a good game. You know, hoping she can prove me wrong, and she proved me completely wrong, mate. And that's what I love. Players that put in the hard effort, the hard work at the game, know they probably hasn't had the best time when they first came in, but just keep on working at the game, keep on developing with their teammates. You know, as I said, apart from Ona, because Maria Thorstottier only came in halfway through last season, you still have a fairly new back line, that really. You know, it's not one that we've had over the last few years, you know, with Millie obviously being missing out of that back line. So she's done really well, mate. And on the point about the elbow, and I said this on my show, we haven't got enough players that surround the referee and ask. I mean, people said to me, "Oh, you know, it's a different game now. Times are moving on." But Captain Katie Zellum, don't get in the referee's face all the time, but sometimes maybe go to the referee and go, "Listen, ref, how many times is that now? You've not pulled the card out. We've done one challenge, you pulled the card out. You know, where's consistency? You just do something like that because you see it all the time with the men's with Bruno. Bruno can't keep an in on it." You know, and he is going to walk himself to trouble at times, you know. And I'm not saying let's do a Roy Keane, Yap Stam, David Beckham and go absolutely harass the referee from one end of the pitch to the other end. But I just think there's someone just getting the referee's ear a little bit, you know. Reading were doing it all the time. They were going like, ref, come on. And you look at
They do it. That's what they do. Since they've been coming to LSV, they've been shouting it from the boxes, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a foul, and encouraging bad tackles and all that kind of thing. So listen, they do it, and I didn't see the elbow on the sky. Maybe it was because I was, you know, with my friends and all that. But I didn't see it at the time. But I did definitely see that she was pulling out the cards quick for Man United players. And that's when, you know, I suppose as well, I remember when we played City in the Conti Cup, and I mean, it was a bad tackle anyway. Again, on Hansen. Hansen seems to get all the bad tackles. And that Kira Walsh studs up right on her shin. Yeah. Bang, and we were like, red. I remember I exploded. I was like,
I took your man on Friday night.
That's what I did. It was like Friday. You took your other man for there.
Yeah, I exploded. I was like, you better send her off now. And it was like, red. And I remember, if you actually watch that video about the City game when we beat them 2-0, you can hear the fans shouting, red, off. And maybe, I'm not saying that I don't know, but maybe that kind of thing, you know, that's the kind, I don't know. Because, you know, what happens at Old Trafford, off. I mean, I shout out for every yellow card. I'm like, where's the yellow? Where's the cards? Where's the cards? Yeah. Where's the cards? Every time you say it to them, they might finally bring it out. But, you know, I've just seen a few comments as well just about other players, and I agree about the back four. Like, that was amazing. I really like Bo Risa as well. I mean, that's one I've championed and said, we've said it on this show for a while, but Tooney, as a false nine. I think she was great in her assists. I think, I saw a little post that says now she's added the assists and we're going to see a better Tooney. I agree. We're going to see a better Tooney. I even said on this show before the game, Tooney is like 22 now. And she's had 10 goals or something, was our top goal scorer last year. She'll be looking to get back into that and creating those assists. And I'm excited for Tooney. I think when she dropped back, she was, I know MK sort of saying more leafless false nine, but I don't know. Casey even said at the start, she's a 10 for me. And she's a 10 for me. I think when you saw her at the edge of the box, like how she did with Lauren versus Chelsea, that little 1-2 of her and Honor. And Honor just, boom, finished. And I just think that's the thing with Mark. And I don't know if it's like we said about the defenders are looking a bit more confident as well. I just think that Mark just put a level of confidence into them. I don't know, it ended
100%.
really badly. Whatever was going on, we know it wasn't right. I think the club have made traction to make it better. They're definitely, I know a lot of people saying, oh, this and that, but there's no malice in what they did last year, with all the facilities and stuff, Obviously, they want the girls to have the best. So, I think now Mark's coming, it's a fresh start. And I definitely read somewhere that's what everyone's sort of saying now. It's a fresh start. And I think that, well, we have been written off out of a lot of things. I don't expect us to be bigged up that much until we get some, let's see what these Sky numbers say, because I expect them to probably be high or good. So, I'm not expecting us to be talked about and raved about. And like what Benny said, oh, was it you, Andy? You watched the Sky after and they just rushed over that and they just went on to Reading or whatever, or the goal. And even me, when it happened, that shot, and I wasn't there. I was watching on telly, but they slowed it down, they stopped it, they paused it, they zoomed in, and I couldn't tell. And if it was, I'd say it. I mean, for me, this Lucy Stan was lucky. That's the only thing I'll say. She was lucky. So I know she's got her little face on, but when I watched it live, I thought, "Woi!" And then they showed it again. I thought, "You're lucky there, love." But it is what it is. I think as well, with everyone's going on about this goal, and then their manager's coming out and saying, "Oh, I wish we had VAR. I wish we had goal line technology." I thought to myself, there was never that energy when the ball hit Katie Zellam's head, though, was there?
100%.
There was never that energy. You were never
or not
tweeting
even
out
that.
live.
There's been so many examples of it.
I mean, what Farah said is, "Oh, it's one of them things." That's what they said, and now they're sort of sitting there saying, "Oh, we need goal line technology." Now there's all this energy. And that's what I don't understand. It's only energy when they lose. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
like
just
Emma
to pick
Hayes and that other one. Energy for it when they lose. But then when it goes their way, they're silent. Quiet like mice.
Just to pick up on the Emma Hayes. Everyone knows I'm not a massive fan. I'll leave it at that. But geez Louise, you lost love. Now you want the goal technology. Christ. If that happened with us last season, then we just might as well. He would have lost Casey would have lost the voice. You'd have to record it and just play it on loop. The first thing that needs to happen is professional referees. So many examples of why. Not even necessarily just up it a bit. Not even the sort of level 1 and 2, the Prem and the Championship. Even though there was no reason why not, because it was an international break this week. Even those that are looking at League One, maybe just any, Vanarama level and below is a joke, and it's not fair on them, And I saw what happened with the elbow, and she looked really freaked. The referee, she didn't see it. I appreciate that, but then she's asking for help, and the person who's been given the assistant role is even less qualified and even lower level than she is. So they're going to be even more wobbly. And all right, they've got me in the back of their ear screaming at them as well. But that's football. And, and that's the first thing you need to do, apart from goal line technology, apart from VAR, apart from free foot rubs at halftime, whatever crap that people want to talk about when it comes out in Sky. If you up the referee quality and you actually start judging these referees properly as well, because I think, that thing that the women's game that existed before we came along, that I mentioned earlier of, they're trying their hardest, whereas if the male equivalent would be getting absolutely hammered on Sky Sports News, Carragher or Neville would be sort of pulling them apart on the analysis. to be honest, the referees need that scrutiny as well. And I think, you've got to up the quality of the referee. And then I'm not would a prem referee have seen that differently? Don't know. I mean, like Nat said, when I saw it live, I thought not in. I thought it was off the cross. It was from top of the bar down. When I saw it replayed, I wobbled. I'll be honest. But then when I watched it again, I'd say it was like a centimetre or a little bit less than a centimetre with the ball that was on the line. And by the rules of the game, that's not a goal. It's got to be the whole ball across the line. So end of conversation. But it's just interesting how the narrative, they just tried to pick it up about the goal, whereas it could have been about that. Why did the referee miss an elbow? And it's just an interesting thing, I think.
Emma Hayes' problem is that she wanted smaller goals as well, so
that's why I don't like her. That's why I don't like her.
Sail right over the bar. She wants a lot of different things, Emma Hayes, but let's get. I agree with Andy Onions. Let's get the referee sorted out. They're wrong to the POGMOL or whatever they're called now. So let's hopefully they start to drive these professional standards into the referees now in the women's games, because we can't have substandard referees for the top league, the top professional league in the women's game, because it makes it a really poor product to watch, even for Sky Sports cameras. I'm sure Sky won't stand by and go, we can't have these referees looking poor on our show all the time. We put a lot of money into this. We invested in Barclays as well. We've invested a lot of money.
Yeah.
You need to start investing in better referees and getting them better trained and what have you. So hopefully it'll all come to fruition.
Sorry, Ben. I just want to touch. Basically, what happens with the Premier League ones is that the clubs put money into it. So Emma Hayes is sitting there, this and that. But tell Chelsea to put some of that 100 million into, starting creating a fund backing it. I'm sure Man United would get behind it. I know we're sort of, not everyone's got the money, but if everyone put in a couple of, 10 grand each, you're looking at then, sort of having a bit of a standard. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my point on it.
Mike Riley was apparently there last night, which for those of the fans of the men's game,
probably was on the Sky
on Friday. Yeah, on the Friday night, was one thing I think, but it's just weird. And as I say, I didn't watch the game that Emma Hayes was referring to, but it's just like it's so far down the totem pole. VAR. It's so miles away. I mean, Chelsea. You're already using a non-league stadium anyway, so you want to put your girls in a better stadium first. And as Ben was alluding to, I've got to be careful what I'm saying here, but I really can't stand Emma Hayes because of her comment on small goals. And she even talks about smaller balls for the players, because in the WNBA, they have smaller balls and they might find it easier. I mean, if a man had said that, they would have got fired. I'm sorry, they would have done. And it's just utter bollocks. And I don't care if you're top of the tree in the women's game as a manager, or if you're cleaning the floors in the local pub. I don't care. That's an asinine comment, and it makes me angry every time I think about it. So I'm very much pleased when they lose from a United perspective, and from that perspective. And to be honest, I don't know how. So you got me going now. I don't know how she could make those comments and rock up to a goalkeeper the following day, because surely a female goalkeeper is going to be like, "Hang on, you think I can't do my job in those goals like the men? Hang on, you think I need a smaller ball?" There. Anyway. But yeah, so you would go from there.
I just want to touch on Ugly Bear. Hi, mate. I know we watch you a lot. I know you're in the comments, but that second goal, the player of the match, my player of the match, I suppose, as well, on a Bache. That's it, baby. I banged it. That's how you do it on a Bache. Boom. Thank you. But I loved Hannah as well, and I loved Kirsty Hansen, and I think Tooney, 2 assists, mate. You can't downplay that. So it could have been anyone, really. Could have been anyone.
I think Badger's goal
and all the defenders
links what we're all saying, doesn't it? It links what we're saying. You've got to have belief as a defender to take that shot and to be allowed to take that shot. And obviously, it was her first goal. She played brilliantly last season. Was obviously voted player of the season by the players as well for United. But that's that belief. That's that. I'll give it a go. I'm feeling good. It's on. Let's give it a go. And it went in. And if you've got that belief, would she have taken
it without fans and without
no.
Maybe I think that as well.
I mean, even if you take the Hollywood element, obviously she mentioned that I think it was a friend of hers or an ex-Collet player where she pointed at the V on her wrist, because it was of a friend who's battling cancer, and it was apparently it was actually her birthday as well. So it was like her birthday present to it. I mean, you couldn't write that. I mean, it was perfect for a football reason and for a non-footballing reason. But I think it just says what we're saying about that belief that we've got as a team, that every player can have a go.
Ben, let's just hear your thoughts on the 2 goals, and then we'll all give our player of the match and move on to Everton and Chelsea defeats. So, yeah, I mean, it was a brilliant goal. I mean, we've already mentioned Tony playing that false 9, but it's worked. Even though she's not an out-and-out goal scorer, it's a false 9. She got 2 assists, so it's obviously worked because we won the match, and we created a couple of chances there and scored off them. But they were very well worked goals and a fantastic wonder goal. What was it there?
Absolutely, mate. Listen, I'm still a bit worried where the goals are coming from this season. Have we got enough out-and-out goal scorers in this team to drive us onto the next levels? To drive us into the Champions League places. I hope we have. But it's good that we get goals all over the pitch, but not relying on just one main goal scorer type thing, if you know what I mean. We're not relying on a Vivian Miedema to score all our goals. We have got goals that can come from all over the pitch, which is pleasing to see. But it's composure as well. Hansen had to have the composure to finish it. And I've said it. I'm not surprised she got player of the match. This is the player that's been absolutely on fire throughout all pre-season. Goals, assists, playing good football, playing her best football I think she's played in the United shirt in her entire career. Her confidence is absolutely sky high. And whether that's, again, Mark Skinner coming in and saying something to her and getting right behind her, having a little word in her ear, putting an arm over her shoulder, he's definitely seen something in her. She's definitely turned a corner for me as a player since Mark Skinner's come in. She's looking a lot more confident, a lot more confident in her own ability to go and take that ball now. I still think she needs to hook the touchline. I said it before towards the back end of my show. Let's see, get chalk on her boots, is the old saying. Because if she does it and Leah does it, the both will come inside. It compacts our play too much. If they could just every now and then just sort of spread themselves out, and get to the bar lines. No one's catching these two in full flight. No one's without fouling them. No one's catching them. And we saw that one little element where she picked the ball up, she crossed it. It was at that far stick. Leah Golton should have maybe made the goalkeeper work a little bit more. But that's the type of thing I like to see it. And the owner goal, mate, that was just top bins, absolute top class goal. Mate, even I was like getting lost in it all. When it hit the top bins, I was like, my days, what a goal that is. And I jokingly say you can close goal of the season now. Obviously there's a long way to go for that, but thought what a goal, what a way to kick off in Sky Sport, in front of Sky Sports camera, scoring a goal like that. Making a name for herself to an audience that maybe not have seen her, because obviously a lot of it's been locked down. A lot of it's been on, a lot of people don't have BT Sport. A lot of people tuning in for the first time, being on Sky, being the bigger platform. That have probably looked at it and gone, well, that owner's a bit of a player, isn't she? She can attack, she can defend, she can score goals. What a hit! It's one of those pick that out type of shots, as I like to call it, pick that out goalkeeper. But listen, it could have been a number of players to get player of the match, by the way.
I can't say one, mate. I can't say one. It's too many. I think all the back five were brilliant. And I think a lot of people are saying Hannah Blundell. Hannah should have got it. And then,
she was really
but then
good,
you
Hannah
can't
Blundell.
take it off Hansen. Tooney to assist. She should have got it.
Yeah.
Honor's goal.
Manu was quality. Manu was like, she was like Champions League Varane for me. The way she controlled the ball out there. She was that.
Bossing them about.
Oh, my days, mate.
Obviously, we saw in Scotland, I saw in Scotland the way she was like controlling it, telling people, saying this, pointing, doing that. And obviously on the Sky cameras, they didn't really, I don't know because I didn't watch it all to the end, so maybe they did. Yeah. But, that's what I heard. I've heard good reports that she was still doing that, still bossing it, still commanding her defence. And, she could have been man of the match. You know what I'm saying? But I think when goal scorers score goals and, assists and all that, people don't look at the defenders, but that's the kind of level of performance that she's putting in. Maria could have been player of the match, top quality, not a foot wrong. But like I said, when the attackers score, and then like someone like Honor gets up and scores a rocket like she did, people are gonna not, I suppose, mention those kind of centre back and stuff like that, goalkeeper. They're gonna be like, oh, which forward can I pick? But like even Connor said before, outside of the foot, mate. The way she just did it, and you just saw it, and they really kept playing it back on Sky. Telling you, the what's her name, Karen Carney, playing it back all the time in half time. Look at that. Oh, this is what we come for. This is the women's game. This is what And I thought, yes, that's right. Say her name. Even the next day, the Everton game, they were still saying, oh, Hansen. What was the other one? Farah, Hansen, that thing. Oh, Hansen's gonna boo this. And Farah even bigged up Honor last year, saying, oh, Honor. And now, obviously, like you said, she's out there to everyone. And, I've been bigging up Honor before she even kicked the ball for Man United, and just seeing her now. And I said, didn't I, on Thursday, John, I didn't want Honor to score, not because I didn't want her to score, but I just wanted to be there. And I just it was going to be her, wasn't it? It was going to be her.
I'm sure everyone in the crowd thought of you as well on that one. She scored for you, and that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Well, I mean, just to finish off on that, I mean, I'm similar with that. I mean, there's so many great players on the pitch, but I just looked at it now. Apparently, in Spanish, Queen is Reina, Reina, and she is my Reina. She's my Spanish Queen. I mean, that was just so beautiful, the goal. But I mean, she was all over the pitch. As I said, she made some great tackles before that. She stood out from the get-go. She was on it from the first whistle. And I think, definitely Honor sticks out. And Hannah Blundell, as you say, and obviously Kirsty, who actually did get player of the match, was also on it as well. But I just think from a sort of announcing themselves, everyone's going to know who Honor is for the next game or the next few games. We knew about it from last season, but and from a marketing perspective, it doesn't matter what your view on football is. Everyone loves a top corner goal, and that's going to be replayed. That's going to be shown. And hopefully it'll help push it along with Sky as well.
Comment on screen for yourself, Nat. So let's talk about it. I hope one of them lose. I don't want to draw. I want one of them to lose, and I want them to suffer. Either one. I don't mind.
Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Willie Kirk, yet again, comes up short. Yeah. Comes up short. We had Mia. She's gone from this, and now she's Everton. Listen, comes up short. Willie, I just hate it when compared to us. Based on what, though? Like I said, 15 points last season, they finished behind us. Yes, they've added quality, but let's not deny that there's, like, for example, us, I think they're probably at a stage where we were last year. But the thing is, though, we're better than where we were last year. We're better than where we were. I mean, you said it to me, John, today. If we went to the the Etihad, when we did that first season, and we got beat 4-0, imagine the scenes. Imagine what people would be saying. Yeah? But we didn't there. We have a worse squad than we got now, and we lost 1-0. And it was very tight. There was times when Jackie could have scored. And, he's sitting there saying the occasion took too much. Listen, why are you putting it at Goodison then if you can't handle it? And it's not even like, we touched on little bits about tendencies. There's 6,000 people there, can be a lot better. We had 30,000, 36,000. I mean, yes, the crowd was very red. The crowd was very red that day, but you don't rock up and say, I'm going to win the league, because there's a quote, and he's saying, we're going for the league title. Yeah? So that's what my guy said. League title win. Yeah? And you come up against City, who played really bad. I mean, Emma said she was worried. Really bad. They had a lot of players out. Second choice goalkeeper, and you get battered like that. I'm sorry. You can sit there and say, oh, this happened, that happened, the occasion, this and that. It's no good. Yeah? You're not going to win no league title getting battered 4-0 like that. I'm sorry. The way that they've been saying Everton are going to do this, Everton are going to win the league. Now what?
Exactly. I mean, I think, you put it back on there, Willie Kirk versus Emma Hayes. Miss Smaller goals versus Mr. Smaller footballing brain. Let's be honest. I think to be honest, Willie Kirk reminds me of the kid at school who can afford all the gear and then gets completely nutmegged on the first kick. I think he isn't as good as he thinks he is, and why Everton? If Everton are genuine title challengers, so are we.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a fact, really. Obviously we've discussed about our level that we want to be at, obviously, going into Champions League and that kind of stuff. But, at the end of the day, Everton played at Goodison and got embarrassed. This weekend. And obviously I just think that they're nowhere near the level that would be a title challenger. And that's fine. We've not really set ourselves as title challengers, but it's just amazing how much of the PR campaign you get between Emma. 1 minute she should be England manager / queen of the world when it comes to women's football in the UK. And Willie Kirk, this, fantastic deputy that we let go, apparently, at Everton, he's going to turn them from a team that essentially plays in a park, which is different from playing in the dilapidated stadium he previously played in. Well, he's proven he can lose at Goodison now as well, so well done. It's just one of them, isn't it?
Ben, I'd let you have your say on Chelsea defeat and Everton as well.
Me, yeah.
Sorry, Ben.
No, I thought you said that yourself.
Yeah.
No, mate, it doesn't surprise you, does it? Listen, just I said my piece on Willie Kirk a long time ago, man. Every time he loses a match, makes me smile even more. He might be the most humble, down-to-earth, decent guy in the world, but he left my football club to try and prove himself, and at the minute he's absolutely proven himself to be a terrible manager. Maybe he should have stayed as a number 2, but I don't know, mate. Listen, I don't like City either. I don't like Chelsea. I don't like Everton. One of them for me. But it's just wonderful how they always say, "Oh, we're title challengers, this, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that." And they very rarely back up the words, Everton. It's just. And the more they fail, the more it makes me smile and chuckle to myself a little bit more. Just thinking, Willie, maybe you should just keep your mouth shut and then just see how the season went. To see how you started the season before and then maybe give an opinion whether you're going to be title challengers or not. But as Natalie said, there was years behind us in terms of points last season. So where's he going to make up that amount of points? And then obviously to get himself at least Champions League places at the very least as well. He
will. He'll make them up. He'll make up those points, and then he'll wake up and go to work. He'll just do it in his dreams. That's the only problem. So if you're an Everton fan.
Actually, there was a comment from Dennis about the Leicester match. We were there, weren't we? Leicester and Villa. Good to see Jess. She had one shot there where she could have got on the score sheet, but not many clear chances. But we just want to end the show kind of on that game that we went to.
I think it was a good game. Aston Villa is one that's talked down. I've always said it. She's someone who I've bigged up and she won't say it, but Carla Ward, I think she's a great manager. I think, they'll be aiming for up there, but it's like what you've just said, Ben. Why say it so early? Why go out before a game and say, the ball's not even kicked? Why say, we're aiming for first? See Carla, I'll say, I think Villa could get top 6. She would not say that. She wouldn't say it because she just wouldn't until you're in a position. Even Mark, he's saying, listen, we've got, we want to be in the Champions League. All the players are saying it, but he's not saying that's my set aim. That's the only thing that's going to be. He's just saying one game at a time. They tried to pull Katie Zellum on it on the BBC. Well, are you going to do this? Look at Everton. Listen, one game at a time. That's what it's about. And, we always hear, that's why I know people are saying, I think it will happen, there'll be points in the season when they do really well. Good for them, but it's always this hype with Everton before every season, and then we sit here and it's the same story. And that's just what makes me laugh. That's why I had to come out and just say it, because it makes me laugh. They're always bigged up, and then you just you sit there and you think, and I just think if it was United getting beat 4-0, oh, United don't back the team, they don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do the other. United come out and win. And you know what? Maybe it's best for us. Maybe this is what's going to see the best of our, I think last season, no one expected us to do anything. And then we were top at Christmas. It's about maintaining what we've got, building on what we've got. In terms of Leicester, I think they're a good side. I think they'll be quick. That's what we need to watch out for, Dennis. But I think we should just have enough. I'm confident going into that, watching what I saw. When they went down, they sort of, I won't say capitulated, but the heads went down. I think Abby Max even talked about it, our heads went down. We switched off for 5 minutes. Bang, that's it. You're 2 goals down in the WSL. It's a different ball game, WSL and Championship. They're learning it. We've had to learn it. It's going to be a good game on Sunday, innit? Sunday. Can't wait to be there.
Yeah.
Get your tickets. Get it in block A1, guys. That's where we'll be. That's where we'll be singing from the off, non-stop, 90 minutes. Can't wait.
Can't wait. Great way to end the show. And it's been a fantastic show tonight. Loads of comments I couldn't even keep up. So sorry if I didn't even get them on screen. I'm sorry about that. But lots of people still watching. So please hit that thumbs up. And please vote for us at the for the FCAs as well. Go to our pinned tweet on Twitter and just got some instructions there. Really easy to do. I don't know how long we've got left on the voting, but keep going. We really appreciate everything you do. And we're on Instagram as well, so you can follow our match day stories on there. We've got loads of content that goes on Instagram that we don't do on Twitter. Go on, Nat.
Yeah, and you can vote on Instagram as well, the _FCA. So definitely get on that as a post there. Small women's business channel or whatever. Vote for us there. You'll see where our name is. So just put at All for United WFC. That's as simple as it is.
Yeah, 100%. So plan for the rest of the week, Tuesday. So we've got 2 shows on Tuesday. We've got the usual live show at 7 o'clock. And we've got the new show that we started last week, which has got quite a few views already. So that was really good. That's Gareth's show at 12 o'clock midday, where he talks a little bit about the WSL Championship and the lower tiers. So if that's what you're interested in, if you want to learn a little bit about other teams, not just Man United, please give that a watch because it's got some good graphics on there as well. He works really hard on the actual preparation for that. Wednesday show, that's yourself, Nat. What are your thoughts this week for your show?
We're doing it called I can't even say the name, but Why We Love the Spanish League. So I've got someone called Isa on. We're going to talk about Spanish football, who's the teams to watch out for, what she expects from the Spanish League. Obviously, they played on Saturday, but me and her did that show. But definitely some talents out there in the Spanish League. I think we've seen with honour the talents that are out there. So definitely tune in to see what other talents that can potentially look at signing or look at coming to the WSL.
Awesome. Yeah, can't wait for that one. Thursday, me and Natalie are back with Man United fan. You've seen him before on the show. If you're a fan of the show, he's been on twice before over the last 12 months. Simon Preston. So he's a journalist in Jamaica, but he's also a massive Man United fan who occasionally watches the show as well. So occasionally, I don't know how often he does, but he'll be on. But that's a slightly later time, isn't it, Nat? Is that going to be 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock. Yeah.
8 o'clock. Yeah. And then Friday we've got Anthony's show. It should be a bit more detailed this week as well. Now that we're able to get a bit more information. Friday, me and Andy are back on the Friday Night Fan Forum. Can't wait for that one. And Saturday, Ben, you and Matt. I'm not too sure if we've got any guests lined up, but we got
no, not as of yet. But I'm sure I can pull some out the back before then.
Absolutely. And then backstage content on Sunday. So we got a lot to talk about and to watch. So we're going to shoot off, guys. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Soon. Thank you, guys.
See you on Sunday as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.